scene opens. Stefan is walking through the rooms and hallway of the Elysium Foundation, um, taking in the last sights of other kindred, the mortals still displayed as refreshment, the art pieces um, displayed in their own little mini gallery. Begins to think to himself. He thinks to himself. Period. Um, this whole experience has been very enlightening. He takes in one last meal, one last tiny little snack from the ivory room. Kind of rushes over there, saunters quickly. Catches sight of a clock just outside in the hallway, across from the entrance to that room. And seeing that it's coming up on midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, he decides to leave Foundation. That's what this Elysium is called. um, and go to the dock area on this island to catch the ferry back to the mainland. Moments later, Stefan, waiting for the ferry. It comes. He loads aboard, or he climbs aboard, and heads back to the mainland, and well, back to his day-to-day existence. No matter how much he dreads the grind, the tedious hard work, the distraction from his real pursuit, the pursuits he'd really like to go about. Gets back. The ferry pulls in. He disembarks, and quite quickly he, in true New Yorker fashion, grabs the first cab he can, no matter what. Just hops in, tells the driver where he wants to go, and knowing that there's a couple of things he really needs to pick up. He needs a shopping trip. It's very important. He remembers hearing a couple people. He doesn't really know who they are. Probably not worth noting or not remembering entirely, the details of. But he heads to or he has the cab taken to a shop that operates late, and when he gets to this establishment, he asks the cab driver to kind of wait for him. He'll be out in a bit. trying to, get in and go after he came here for, and then head on out. He heads to the clothing area department of this basically multi shop. Um, Knowing that if he's going to venture into rougher neighborhoods, he really needs to more dress the part. He remembers what he was told by that individual he had met in the projects. Wow, a few days ago, as he remembers. Um, and begins looking for a top garment with a hood, probably something on the darker side. So he looks for something in a darker gray, not a black, a darker gray. Um, and while looking for a suitable garment, he looks over and he sees a display with a working clothes, nice rugged working clothes, and he sees a pair of overalls and coveralls and various other heavy duty clothing. Uh, he quickly hops over to that display and grabs a pair of coveralls. Actually, he grabs a couple of pairs of coveralls. One to replace the missing pair, and one so that now he has three. Hops back over to where he was really quickly, and um, after a few more minutes, he sees an article like a sweater with a hood and basically a two-sided common space pocket in the front. And it's plain. It has no logo, no nothing. He just kind of nods thanks to himself, and he grabs the um, garment's hanger and pulls it off and places that over his arm with the coveralls he picked up. Goes through the store, the shop, looking at a few more things, trying to think, is there anything else he needs? And realizing, this is the first time since his embrace. That's what his sire, his friend, uh, called it, the embrace. Since his embrace, it's the first time he's really noticed himself thinking about these types of things. Is there anything else that he needs while he's here? It's like he's still a living, breathing being again. But he knows the truth. He's reminded of the truth every single time he goes out, and realizing that he's been a little bit remiss in his keeping up of appearances, he wills that newly gained trait of blood before he left the um, the Elysium to flushing his skin with that bright red appearance, that vibrant warmth emanating from the core of his being. Um, he passes a small jewelry case. There is actually a clerk standing behind it. When he approaches, uh, the man behind this counter asks if if there's anything that he can help with, help him find. Stephen thinks for a moment. He says, "I." It says that he's looking for a wristwatch. Um, his was his was taken from him by force not too long ago, and he really does need a replacement. Not something too expensive, something nice but reasonable. The man behind the counter, he looks at Stefan and kind of engages him for a little bit, and go then with a look of like, aha. He says, I have something that I think you might be interested in. And his hand goes to a watch in a display on top of the case and pulls it out and says, something like this. He sees the square frame of the watch, looks into the face. Nice piece of glass, actual glass over the top of it. Lifts up the band and sees the comforting stamp that reads genuine leather. He asks if he can, see it a little closer, and he takes in the scent of the leather band, the feel of the glass covering the face, the feel of the metal, the weight of this particular watch, and sees that between the three articles of clothing in this watch, it's up to about $60. He says, "This is perfect, actually. Do I need to pay for this here, or can I go up to the front?" The clerk he looks at him. He says, "Oh, you can take that up to the front if you would like, or I can ring up your items here." Well, just wanting to take care of it. He handles it right there, and moments later he hands over the $65.38 for his items. Seeing that his cash on hand is getting a little low, it's down to about $23 or $22 now. Takes his change, places his wallet, and places that back into the breast pocket of his coat. Takes the items in the bag. Asks the clerk if he could double bag that, just to avoid any mishaps and any odd bag tearing, ripping. He bids the clerk a friendly farewell and good evening. Heads out of the store, only to find his cab. The cab is gone. With that in mind, and seeing this is where he is in the business district currently, it's not too far from the edge of the business district, so he begins walking back home. maybe trying to find another cab here and there. Takes him a little bit to get out of the business district from where he's at, and he enters an area that seems to have quite a few clubs and art galleries and the like. Comes across one that catches his eye. As he approaches the rows, he looks on in. Doesn't see an exhibit going on at the moment. Doesn't even see that it's open at this point. Thanks. If only he had been fortunate enough to get an exhibit at such a fine establishment as this. He begins to notice a tear start to spring from his eye, and quickly catches it, wipes it off, and licks the blood from his fingers thoroughly, and uses the glass to check his reflection. And when he's satisfied that all of it is gone, cleaning his fingers off and drying his hands. Or no, cleaning his fingers off and kind of rubbing them together out of more habit than anything. Doesn't really have to, but does it all the same. Continues on, and after about another 2 blocks of walking, he comes across another cab. Realizing as he's low, he just kind of picks up the pace a little bit. He goes from a little bit faster than average stride to more of a power walk, really. As he notices the biting cold of this winter night, and a few traces of snowflakes start to fall from the sky a bit. Continues on back, and then about another hour or two, he approaches the diner. He lives above. There's still lights on, but only in the back. They're closing up. He passes the front and walks up the staircase to the stoop, and heads into his quaint little studio apartment. Unpacks the bag he has and hangs up the articles, hangs up his coat. Takes his watch and places it on a table next to his bed behind the room divider. And looks around as he gets settled back in. Places a record on his player. Something soothing, something calm, something with no percussion tonight. Looking over at a workbench where he had been working on pieces for a chess set. He walks on over, takes a breath and lets it out, and chuckles to himself, sits down, and gets back to his work. Four successes. He finishes the last thing he was working on. Out of in an OC kind of way, and actually makes some real progress on the first of his chess sets. As he gets back into a groove, sculpts the small pieces out of the remnants of stone from larger projects and takes in the soothing, calming atmosphere that now fills his concrete box. He begins to truly feel that he's back home. A warmth beyond the expended, a warmth beyond the blood that he willed, blood that he told to do a thing, and it did that thing. A warmth that he had not felt since before his embrace. A true human warmth, a true feeling warmth. And in that warmth, as he continues his work, a smile comes across his face. A calmness that he has not felt in quite some time fills his mind. And he truly feels at ease. He truly feels that in this work, is a form of a celebration, of getting back to doing what he really enjoys. And with that, the scene will fade to black and come to a close. Thank you very much.